First off, give it glory and honor to Yah, Jesus Christ, the head of my life. We are picking back up in our Bible study in Genesis 13. We started the book of Genesis, and this whole journey has been not about the people, the prophets, the specific stories, but this is about learning who Yahweh is. Who is this God that people speak on? We've learned so much about Yahweh so far, all of his the attributes that we've gotten just from the start of the book of Genesis all the way to where we are right now in chapter 13. We've also learned some things about us and how God lays out a plan for us. He tells us what to do. He tells us how to do it. He gives us a promise. He says, hey, listen, I'm watching over you. I'm protecting you. I'm doing these type of things. All you got to do is do this and don't do that. All of this is yours. Don't do that. And our disobedience is what gets us in trouble. And when we learn this first thing that Yahweh is a lawgiver. He's a lawgiver and he's a governor. He gives us a law, he gives us a command, and he tells us what not to do. And then us as human, we're so flawed that we do the complete opposite of what he tells us, or we do something outside of what the command that he had given us. And then we find that Yah's compassion, his grace for us, his mercy for us is so everlasting that he finds a way to fix the very situation, the very problem that we put ourselves in. And the first thing that we noticed about Abraham was he gave Abraham a promise. He told him, hey, look, I'm going to curse those that curse you, bless those that bless you. I'm going to turn your name into a great nation. I'm finna do something for you I've never done for anybody else. All he's asking for is his obedience. Just go to this. I'm pack everything up. Go to this land. Show me your obedience. He says, okay, bet. He missed the fine print of what Yahweh told him. And he missed it. He missed the mark so much that he gave his wife up, because she's so fine. She's so fine. He know that everybody want his wife. He know that. So when he went to Egypt, he told his wife, hey, look, man, tell them I'm your brother. I'm your brother. Okay. That way I'm alive. I'm straight. Okay, and you're gonna be fine because the Pharaoh gonna try to marry you anyways. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing was what was his plan? To give your wife up to another man? To let your wife get married to another man? And then what happens then? There was no thought process. It was just he was in such fear for his life that he disregarded what God had already told him. God had already told him, I'm gonna curse those that curse you, and I'll bless those that bless you. That means that anybody that tries to do anything against you, anything, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. But Abraham had his own plans, and God had his wrath almost fell upon the Egyptians. People started getting sick out of nowhere. And the Pharaoh looking like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? You told me that this was your sister. He said, well, look, I was scared that you was going to kill me because she's so fine and all. And he was like, hey, man, pack your stuff up. Take everything that's yours. Pack all your stuff up and go. Because I don't even want you around here no more. Like, you almost got my whole city messed up because you playing. When God makes us a promise, he's serious about that promise. But for us, we allow for our fears, our anxieties, our worries, our doubts, our problems, our transgressions to outweigh, to overshadow the very thing that God promised us. The very thing that God promised us. And so when we actually see how serious he takes his promises, it's to make us ask the question, how many promises has Yahweh given you? How many dreams has he shown you of you doing something miraculous or amazing, but you put your fears, the things that you're afraid of, in front of that, and you're not able to reach whatever God has for you? So let's hop into today's word, man. All right, Genesis chapter 13, we have Abram, and Lot. So Abram went up out of Egypt. Remember, he just got kicked out. He and his wife and all that he had, and Lot, his nephew, with him, into the Negev, the south country of Judah. Now, Abram was extremely rich in livestock and in silver and in gold. Hold on. We're not just going to fast forward like we didn't just learn something crazy. And I'm saying that this is something crazy because in today's climate, a lot of people that read the Bible, a lot of Christians or anybody that considers themselves to be followers of Christ, believe that they need to be poor and broke and homeless or destitute or like living paycheck to paycheck in order to serve God. In order to be a servant of God, you have to be broke, right? And that is the furthest from the truth. That is not what the word teaches. What the word said was money is the root of all evil, meaning people don't do things to get money unless it's normally something evil. Like people will come up with schemes to get quick cash, like earthly money. Their focus is on earthly money. When you look at the most evilest things in the world, normally they did it for money. That's why they was doing it. Most people don't do anything evil unless it's for money. Now you have some people that just do evil stuff just because they demon possessed and they just do evil stuff. That's just it. But for most evil is done because they want money. So when it says money is the root of all evil, normally people that are trying to make a plethora of money, they start doing evil things to get that money. They start doing things that goes against God's way. It doesn't mean that everybody that wants to serve God or serve Christ has to be broke. Because in order to make money, you have to be evil. No, it's just that money is normally the root of the evil. Like normally the root of that evil is because they want money. And normally when they're making a lot of money, it's because they're doing something evil. Now, there are people that are rich because they do good to the world, in the world. And God is showing you right here, Abram was extremely rich. He was rich in livestock, silver, and gold. So Abram wasn't broke at all, and a true follower of God, a true man of faith. He made mistakes, don't get it twisted, but he didn't do anything evil to get his riches. He didn't go against God to get his riches. He was rich in livestock, silver, and gold. So I just wanted to break that myth that you have to be broke in order to serve God. That is the furthest from the truth. Abram was a rich man, well taken care of. Joseph was a rich man, well taken care of. There's a lot of these, even Moses had money. The tablets that he had were made of gold. The gold that he had, so he was well taken care of. He had nothing to worry about. No money. All the kings that came afterwards, King David, King Solomon, all the kings that followed them, they were all rich. They were supposed, some of them were men of God. Well, only a few of them were, but the majority of them fell from grace from God. But they were well taken care of. God had already taken care of them. They just either chose to serve God or chose not to serve God. So please get that understood, that you are not supposed to be broke. There is no word that says you have to be poor and broke, living check to serve God. No, God don't want any of his servants to be poor or broke. That's not how he is. But because we believe in things, whatever we choose to believe in, it affects us. It affects us. So if you believe that God has riches for you, if you believe that when it says, our Father who art in heaven, holy is thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Remember, his kingdom has everything. His kingdom has everything. But those that only believe that, hey, listen, well, Lord, I just need you to be a fence. Just be a fence. While I'm broke and I'm poor, just be a fence. He takes care of everything, but we have to believe in everything. We have to believe in those parts if we want him to do those things for us. I just wanted to just put that little nugget out there. That's all. He journeyed on from Negev as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, Bethel and Ai, where he had first built an altar. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord in prayer. But Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. Now the land was not able to support them, that is, sustain all their grazing and water needs, while they lived near one another. for their possessions were too great for them to stay together. And there was strife and quarreling between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. Now the Canaanites and the Perizzites were living in the land at that same time, making grazing of the livestock difficult. So, chat, it's family. It's a small area. It's not big enough for everybody to be here. You got the Perizzites, you got the Canaanites, you got Lot's people, you got Abram's people, you got cattle, you got all camels, horses, all types of stuff. It's not enough land. It's starting to cause a problem. So now they got to do something about this, because these type of quarrels, these type of issues, kerfuffles, situations, predicaments, these can cause problems, and they can be rifts between your family or God. Like sometimes you at a place for too long. It's just too crowded in there. It's like the Lord is he's pulling you out of a situation. Like, hey, look, I know you love your family, but it's starting to get a little crowded in here. The air's starting to get a little thick in here. We're gonna have to make some changes and adjustments. So Abram said to Lot, please let there be no strife and disagreement between you and me, nor between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, because we are relatives. Is not the entire land before you? Please separate yourself from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right. Or if you choose the right, then I will go to the left. So Lot looked and saw that the valley of the Jordan was well watered everywhere. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It was all like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as you go to Zoar, at the south end of the Dead Sea. Then Lot chose for himself all the valley of the Jordan, and he traveled east. So they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, and Lot settled in the cities of the valley and camped as far as Sodom and lived there. But the men of Sodom were extremely wicked and sinful against the Lord, unashamed in their open sin before him. Now this is where this is where a lot of people don't like coming to this part of the Bible, because we say that right now in 2025 we are living in modern Sodom and Gomorrah, and we are. It's the truth. We're living in modern day. It's not just about, it's just open sin and homosexuality and all this. That's not the only thing. We're living in a time where there's witchcraft. There's movies there's movies that are about that encourage demon possession and hoodoo and voodoo and promiscuity and fornication and adultery and then killing and all this other. There's Reddits that showcase gore and encourage people to do like unspeakable evil things. There's so much evil in this in the world. There's so much evil in this world that some of us, we're not gonna see all of it. You're not going to see all of it, especially like in your city or where you at. You're not going to see all of it. But if you look at TV shows and you look at music videos and stuff, what does it promote? Does it promote God? Does it promote morality? Does it promote reading your word and being kind to your neighbor and being faithful to your marriage? Is it promoting that? Nope. It's promoting everything else. So when you think about Sodom and Gomorrah, don't just think that, it's just only about homosexuality. That's not what it's just about. The sin that they were doing child sacrifice and all. They were doing unspeakable things here. It wasn't just one thing. They was doing everything. Killing people for whatever reason. Like, hey, you sleeping with a man sleeping with his father's wife. When I say it was a lot of nonsense going on here. A lot of nonsense. And it just wasn't the adults. The sin that they were doing, it was passing down to the children. So if you raise up kids like this, you think that they're not going to follow you? Think about it. That's how you're raised. You act like that. You see no problem in what you're doing. You think that you're going to have morality all of a sudden? You think that you're going to be cool all of a sudden? It's like a kid that's raised up in drug life. If the dad is just raising his son in it, guess what his son going to do next? His son gonna be a part of it too. So it's not just about, all they did was homosexuality in Sodom and Gomorrah. That is not it. If you think that's the only thing that they were doing, you are sadly mistaken. They was doing unspeakable things here, things that we frown upon. A lot of stuff that we frown upon. But we about to find out right now. Watch this. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had left him, Now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are standing, northward and southward and eastward and westward, meaning look all around you. For all the land which you see, I will give to you and to your descendants forever. I will make your descendants as numerous as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could count the grains of the dust of the earth, then your descendants could also be counted. Arise, walk, make a thorough reconnaissance around the land through its length and its width, for I will give it to you. Then Abram broke camp and moved his tent and came and settled by the grove of the great terebinths, oak trees of Mamre. Ooh, these words. The Amorite, which are in Hebron, and there he built an altar to honor the Lord. Chapter 14, War of the Kings. In the days of the eastern kings, Amraphel of Shinar, these words, Holy Spirit, help me, Lord. Arak of Elazar, Chedor Lamir of Elam, I'm going to mess these words up, and title of Goam. They invaded the Jordan Valley near the Dead Sea and made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboam, and the king of Bela, that is Zor. All these kings joined together as allies in the valley of Siddim, that is the Sea of Salt. So there's about to be there's this king. This king then started this war and invaded, right? So the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zobaim, the king of Bela, all of these kings are now joining forces, okay? Like KD going to the Golden State Warriors in order to fight this king. He must be that powerful. If you got one, let me see, hold up. Let me see this real quick. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 kings. They all shook. This is an NBA starting lineup. They all shook right now. They all coming together to fight this force that is much stronger than them. I'm sorry. In the days of the Eastern Kings, Emperor of Shinar, Arak, and Elazar, and they invaded. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 kings that teamed up together against 5 kings. So this is a 4v5 right now. All these kings joined together as allies in the valley of Sodom, that is the Sea of Salt. 12 years they had served the most powerful king in the invading confederacy. So he the top dog here. But in the 13th year, they rebelled. So clearly they was under his rule for a minute, and they was like, you know what? On this 13th joint, we done with this, bro. Like we done being cowardice under you. Like we fighting back now. In the 14th year, I'm gonna call him Chad. Chad and the 3 kings who were with him attacked and subdued Rephaim and Ashtaroth, Karnaim, the Zuzim in Ham, and the Emim and Shaphath, Kirithaim, and the Horites and their mountainous country of Seir, as far as El Paran, which is on the border of the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En Mishpat, that is Kadesh, and subdued all the country of the Amalekites and also the Amorites, who lived in the Hazanon Tamar. Then the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboam, and Bela, that is Zor, came out, and they joined together for battle with the invading kings in the valley of Sidon, against Chad, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goam, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Orach, king of Elazar. 4 kings against 5. As I said, it's 4 kings against. So these dudes, they are. If we go in the NBA, they are superstars. They could play every position. They only need 4 people. They don't even need 5. Their armies is that powerful, that strong, that it takes 5 kings to fight 4. And mind you, they campaign, they already been moving. It's just that some of the other places that got taken over, they had to serve underneath for like 13 years. And in those places was like, hey man, look, we sick and tired of being in captivity. We sick and tired of serving you. I'm pretty sure the rules was horrible. The living circumstances was horrible. Imagine you just at the foot of a king, of a ruthless king. Okay, let's see how this 4v5 goes. Now the valley of Sidon was full of tar, pits. And as the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, they fell into them. But the remainder of the kings who survived fled to the hill country. So they all met up to fight, right? Everybody throwing them. Ha, 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 ha. The king of Sodom and the king of Gomorrah lost. They was like, oh shoot, run. They running, and they fell into these pits. The other 3 kings, they didn't trip and fall. They made it. They left. They went to the hill country. They was like, hey man, these kings out here is crazy. Then the victors took all the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food supply and provisions and left. So they got beat, embarrassed, robbed, and left destitute. And they also took captive Lot, Abram's nephew, and his possessions, and left, for he was living in Sodom. Oh, shoot. Not only did the 4 kings dog walk all 5 of these kings, they dog walked all of them. They took Lot. They said, hey, matter of fact, take everything and take him too. Take him, bring him and everything he got. He going into captivity with us. You think that's not finna get back to Abram? Remember what God promised Abram. I'm going to curse those that curse you, and I'm going to bless those that bless you. Lot has been nothing but a blessing to Abram. When there was arguments and fighting, Lot didn't hold, he didn't like, hey, yo, Unc, you tripping, all that stuff, like, man, we going to take this land. Like, he was like, Unc, I got y'all. We'll go. He's been nothing but a blessing. Remember what God promised Abram. Then a survivor who had escaped from the invading forces on the other side of the Jordan came and told Abram, the Hebrew. Now he was living by the terebinths, oaks, Amram, and the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and brother of Aner. They were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his nephew Lot had been captured, he armed and led out his trained men born in his own house, numbering 318, and went in pursuit as far as north as Dan. Hold on. The word get back to Abram. Abram said, hey, y'all, hey, boys, saddle up. It's wartime, baby. This is what I've been training y'all for. 318. They had 5 kings with all their armies. And those 5 kings couldn't stand to those 4. And they had a handicap match. Abram only got 318. Imagine if there's 4 kings and they're that powerful to take over a whole land. It's 4 versus 300. 4 kings and their armies versus 318 men. He divided his forces against them by night. He and his servants and attacked and defeated them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is north of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods and also brought back his nephew Lot and his possessions, and also the women and the people. One man and 318 soldiers was able to do a job that 5 kings with all their armies could not do. So when I tell you that when Yahweh gives you a promise and he's sending you in a situation that seems impossible, it's not by your will you can get it done. It's by his will that he gets it done. All we got to do is be obedient. All we got to do is lace up our shoes, lace up our sneakers, put our boots on, put on a whole armor of God and go do what he's telling us to do, even when the situation seems impossible. It's impossible to others. What's impossible for others is possible for God. You see, Abram didn't even question it. He know about these kings. Let's not get it twisted. He know exactly who these kings are. He didn't shake. He didn't falter. He didn't think. He didn't tremble. He just said, bet, lace him up. Let's go. Let me go get my nephew. He got, not only did he get his nephew back, he got all of his possessions back, probably and then some. He got all the women and the people back. So while Sodom and Gomorrah was committing all these great evils, God still had mercy on them. He still had mercy on them. Oh, you didn't think about that yet? I know you didn't think about that. Abram and Melchizedek. Then after Abram's return from the slaughter of Chad and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Sheba. That is the king's valley. Remember, he ain't die. He just fell into a pit. Him and the king of Gomorrah. Melchizedek, king of Salem, ancient Jerusalem, brought out bread and wine for them. He was the priest of God Most High. And Melchizedek blessed Abram and said, blessed, joyful, favored, be Abram by God Most High, creator and possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed, praised, and glorified be God Most High, who has given your enemies into your hand. And Abram gave him 1/10 of all the treasure he had taken in battle. Remember I said that, and then some? There was that, and then some. He gave Lot all of his stuff back. But they took everything. They got the people back and the women. And then there's some, and then some stuff, some extra stuff. The king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the people and keep the goods, spoils of battle for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand and sworn an oath to the Lord God Most High, the creator and possessor of heaven and earth, that I would not take anything that is yours, from a thread to a sandal strap. So you cannot say, I, the king of Sodom, have made Abram rich. I will take nothing except what my young men have eaten, and the share of the spoils belonging to the men, my allies who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their share of the spoils. You know how cold it's cold. It's so cold because the king of Sodom, you know, he like, here, man, look, thank you. Look, let me have my people back, bro. And then on everything, you can have all this other stuff. Like all that stuff that you can have all that, bro. Abram said, look, this ain't about you. Okay, first of all, I didn't even do this for you. Okay, so you can keep all of that stuff. The only thing that we took is the food that we ate so that we can help save y'all. Other than that, my men take what their side of the spoils, like whatever they found, they can keep that. But whatever you trying to give me, I don't want it. I don't want nothing you talking about. Because you will never be able to tell somebody that you made me rich. Yah made me rich, not you. So when that verse that says, the Lord, the world didn't give it, so the world can't take it away. When the Lord gives you something, the world cannot take what the Lord gives you. Understand that. What is the difference between what the world gives and what the Lord gives? A W. I'm so serious. What the Lord gives to you, the world cannot take it away from you. Don't store your riches here. Store your riches in heaven. Ask God, what is he asking for you to do? What situations is he asking for you to be brave and courageous and strong-willed, strong-minded, focused on him, knowing that you're going to go into this uncomfortable battle where the battle seems like it's not going to work out in your favor. But when he is with you, who can be before you? Who can stand before you? Chapter 15. Abram promised a son. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward for obedience shall be very great. There go that word. There go that word, obedience. Abram said, Lord God, what reward will you give me since I am leaving this world, childless, And he who will be the owner and heir of my house is this servant, Eliezer from Damascus. And Abram continued, since you have given no child to me, a servant born in my house is my heir. Now remember, if you don't have any kids during this time, the only person that can take your stuff next is your servant, right? Lot already got his own stuff, so Lot not going to take it. Abram has no kids. His name is Abram, the high father, right? But he has no kids. So all of the stuff that he has, he's going to give it to a servant. Not his bloodline, a servant. Then behold, the word of the Lord came to him saying, this man, Eliezer, will not be your heir, but he who shall come from your own body shall be your heir. And the Lord brought Abram outside his tent into the night and said, look now towards the heavens and count the stars, if you are able to count them. Then he said to him, so numerous shall your descendants be. Then Abram believed in, affirmed, trusted in, relied on, remained steadfast to the Lord. And he credited it to him as righteousness, doing right in regard to God and man. And he said to him, I am the same Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land as an inheritance. But Abram said, Lord God, by what proof will I know that I will inherit this? Let me say this. It is okay to not understand God. It's okay. God will give you something. He'll tell you something, and it's outside of what you can conceive. It's outside of your concept. It's outside of your bearings, like outside of what you see for yourself. That's where God does his miracles. A miracle is something that you can't see happening. Do you think a miracle is something that you can, if you could do it on your own, it wouldn't be a miracle? If it was within your power, it wouldn't be a miracle. It's a miracle because it's outside of your power, your will, your bounds. You can't do anything about it without God. That's a miracle. Only he could do the impossible, but you know you're not capable of doing. So it's okay to ask God questions. It's okay to have a question. Abraham is asking God a question. He's like, Lord, but like, look, for real, how you gonna do this? I'm old. I'm almost out of this world. You making a promise to me, but how can I believe this? How can I believe that you're going to give me something that you know that I'm wanting? I've been desiring for years. My wife is childbearing. She's barren, Lord. We old now. So God said to him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. So Abram brought all these to him and cut them down the middle and laid each half opposite the other. But he did not cut the birds. The birds of prey swooped down on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. When the sun was setting, a deep sleep overcame Abram, and a horror, terror, shuddering fear, nightmare of great darkness overcame him. God said to Abram, know for sure that your descendants will be strangers, living temporarily in a land, Egypt, that is not theirs, where they will be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. Woo! That's one heck of a promise, ain't it? First, Yahweh tells him in the very beginning, I'm going to make you a great nation. I'm going to make your name great. And I'm going to curse those that curse you, bless those that bless you. But then Abraham like, Lord, I hear you, but man, I ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? So how you going to make me a nation? I ain't got no kids. And my wife is barren, so how and now we getting old. We old now. How we going to have kids, Lord? Like, come on, man. Then he makes him a promise right here. He says, I got you. You're going to look up at the heavens. You see all them stars up there? I'm going to give you so many descendants, you won't even, it's going to be more, it's going to be just as much as the dust of the earth. And if there's a man on this earth that can count the dust, that's how many descendants you're going to have. It's not, Counting the dust that are on the earth is impossible. Let me just put it that way. It's impossible. Only God can do that. We can't count the dust on the earth. Remember, dust is just particles. It's just little bitty individual particles in a lump sum to where, it creates dust. That's what it looks like. But we can't count that. That's how many descendants he's saying Abraham is going to have. But then he puts Abraham under a deep sleep. Now, when was the first time that we watched Yahweh put somebody under a deep sleep? I'll answer it. Adam. He put Adam under a deep sleep. When he told Adam, he said, man, it ain't good for man to be alone. All right. And he put Adam under a deep sleep. And he took a rib from Adam and he created Eve. Now he's doing the same thing again. He takes Abram, and he puts Abram under a deep sleep. Now, all of that stuff that you saw before, this is what we call a covenant ceremony. They're about to do a covenant ceremony. He had him take four things specifically: a heifer, a goat, a ram, a turtle dove. I'm sorry, not four, and a pigeon, right? So heifer, goat, ram, turtle dove, pigeon, 5 things. He puts, excuse me. He puts Abram under a deep sleep, God said to Abram, now for sure that your descendants will be strangers living temporarily in a land, Egypt, that is not there. So they're going to be in a land that's not the land he promised. Remember, he promised Abram a land and to be a great nation. He's saying for 400 years, your descendants, the ones that you about to give birth to, they going to fall under oppression and be slaved for 400 years. He's already telling him what's about to happen in the future. This is a tough thing to hear. But on that nation whom your descendants will serve, I will bring judgment. And afterward, they will come out of that land with great possessions. As for you, you shall die and go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age. Then in the 4th generation, your descendants shall return here to Canaan, the land of promise. For the wickedness and guilt of the Amorites is not yet complete finished. When the sun had gone down and the deep darkness had come, there appeared to be a smoking brazier and a flaming torch which passed between divided pieces of the animals. And the same day, the Lord made a covenant promise pledge with Abram, saying, to your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates, the land of the Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Cadmonites. These names, they be getting me. And the Hittites and the Perizzites and the the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites. Now the Lord again he's doing a covenant. Now I want to show you guys a prime example of what this looks like. I want to show you guys what this looks like. So when they did a ceremony back then, and shout out to Myron Golden for this, because Myron Golden was the one that really showcased this and showcased what a covenant looks like. So I want you to imagine we're in this this circle, and I'm gonna put the circle in red, right? We're in this circle, right? Okay. Now I want you to see in blue is the sacrifices that were made. So let's say this was the bird, this is the pigeon, this was the heifer, right? This was the turtle dove, right? Another turtle dove, and then here's the goat, right? That's the goat, and then here's the last one, right? That's the 5 things, right? That was sacrificed, correct? Now in the middle is this flame, right? In the middle, it's going to be 2 things standing here, 2 things. So there's going to be this and this, right? So let's say that this right here is the flame and this right here is God. Now, when you do a ceremony like this, a covenant ceremony, you would be back to back, right? And no, first you'd be face to face. You would say some things to each other like, hey, we're taking this covenant under God, this oath under God, that whatever happens, that your issues are my issues, your problems is my problems, all of that, right? From there, we would walk around in a circle, right? We walk around in a circle. You will walk, look at this piece right here. Then you would keep walking. Look at this animal right here. Keep walking. Look at this animal right here. Mind you, every animal was split down the middle, brutal and opened up. Keep walking. Look at this animal right here. Keep walking. Look at this animal right here. And we would meet back in the middle here. Now we're looking at each other, and you would take a piece of rope. You would grab each other. They would grab each other's hands like this. They would take a piece of rope and put a rope on there and tie themselves together. Your name is my name is your name. This is our covenant that we are making under God. If any one of us breaks this covenant, let what's happened to these animals happen to us. Whoever breaks it, let what happened to these animals happen to us. That was a covenant. So in this situation, this is exactly what's happening. But here's the problem. Abram is a mere man. He can't be in the image of God. He can't see God face to face because God is pure and we're sinful. So we would be destroyed looking at him. So the only way that this sacrifice, this ceremony could happen, this would have to happen while Abram is asleep in the spirit realm. Now, in the spirit realm, while he's asleep, he can see God. He can see God, yes. But in flesh, he cannot see God. So this is why God had to put Abram to sleep in order to let the ceremony happen. Okay. Sarai and Hagar. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, had not borne him any children, and she had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "See here, the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. I'm asking you to go into the bed of my maid so that she may bear you a child." In other words, Abram, God made us a promise and he ain't keeping his promise. He ain't moving fast enough. He ain't doing it on our time. He ain't picking up the pace. He taking too long. Okay? He on black people time. I want you to go in there, have sex with her, give me a kid. Let's just call a spade a spade. Go in there, have her give me a kid. Because I'm not finna wait no more. Since God ain't gonna do it, I'ma do it. God ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do what he told us he was gonna do. He ain't keeping his promise. Go in there and go give me a kid. Perhaps I will obtain children by her. And Abram listened to Sarai and did as she said. Dang, that's an obedient husband. That's an obedient husband. Abram had lived in the land of Canaan 10 years. Abram's wife, Sarai, took Hagar, the Egyptian maid, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his secondary wife. You know how desperate, like you got to understand how different it is in this time period. See, in today's time, we so caught up with ourselves and we think that money brings us like power and all. Like we look at Elon Musk, he's so powerful because he has money. But back in reality, in God's world, you know, the way that God designed humans to be, family, children, offspring, then first of all, it's your relationship with him and where he places you, right? How God sees you. Then it was your name. Your name had power and weight to it. Okay. Now what follows up is your offspring. Your offsprings. How many offspring did you have? Did you have all girls? Did you have all boys? Like, what was your offsprings? Okay. Then it was your cattle, your livestock, your sheep. If you had chariots or, your robes, stuff like that. Then that follows up afterwards. In today's world, we think that money gives us the power. That's why people, they be so rich and be so depressed at the same time. Ain't got no kids, ain't got no family, ain't got nobody to rely on. All the money in the world and miserable. But back then they didn't put that's not what was wealth. Wealth wasn't just riches. Wealth was family. It was your name. It was family. If you had 12 boys, boy, you was rich. Like when you had 12 boys, You had all boys. That was different. Like I'm saying that was different back then, having all boys. He went to the bed of Hagar, and she conceived, and when she realized that she had conceived, she looked with contempt on her mistress. Regarding Sarai as insignificant because of her infertility. So Sarai came up with this plan. She said, hey, go sleep with my maiden. She loyal to me. I want you to take her as a second wife. Go in there, do your business. Just don't have too much fun. Don't fall in love. But just go give me a kid. I want a child. And I'm going to raise her child, that child, as my own. That's going to be my baby. And then when Hagar was like, oh, I'm his wife now. I'm his baby mama. Like, sorry, Sarai. Now that I'm pregnant, I'm going to be real with you. I'm keeping this baby. So, it ain't my fault that you can't have no kid. Oops, did I say that? Uh-oh, I'm sorry about that. She walking around, I'm talking about just rubbing her stomach like, oh my God. Yes, girl, I am pregnant with Abram's baby. Yes. I mean, they the ones that asked me to do it. It's not my fault she can't get pregnant. But guess who? Guess whose son? Guess who then came up? Okay, guess whose son finna take all this, and I'm finna get power up here because her little old self finna perish anyways, and all this gonna be mine. Oh, she was walking around cocky. Then Sarai said to Abram, may the responsibility for the wrong done to me by the arrogant behavior of Hagar be upon you. I gave my maid into your arms, and when she realized that she had conceived, I was despised and looked on with disrespect. May the Lord judge who has done right between you and me. Sarai had the nerve. You the one that told this man, sleep with her and make her give me a baby. Now Hagar don't want to get his child up, and she's starting to get clout off of this. You mad? She mad now because she gave him the first ever baby mama. This is the first ever recorded history of baby mama drama. Because Sarai didn't want to wait. She tried to do it her own way and come up with her own plan, and it backfired. And now she mad. She want Abram to feel what she feel. She want judgment on Abram because she decided to come up with a plan that God didn't give her. Now she mad. Oh, okay. But Abram said to Sarai, look, your maid is entirely in your hands and subject to your authority. Do as you please with her. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for her. You told me to. I was just doing what you told me to. So Sarai treated her harshly and humiliated her, and Hagar fled from her. So this how crazy this is. So first she come around. In today's world, what they do is called surrogates, right? They have what's called surrogates now. You think surrogates is the first time this has ever happened? Please. There's nothing new under the sun. We learned that in the book of Proverbs. Ain't nothing new under the sun. She told Abram to do something. Abram do it. Hagar start feeling herself, start looking down on her for not being able to have her own kids. It's probably some words that was exchanged. Y'all, stop looking at the Bible like it's not real people. It's real people. They English was just different. They wordings was just different. But they was still no different than any baby mama today. Any baby mama drama right now. They no different. So she talking crazy to her, saying snarky remarks. She hearing whispers like, well, Hagar was talking about she can't have no kids and that Abram. But woody, woo. How she better? And people start looking at Sarai weird, like, dang, you let that man sleep with your maid and she talking crazy about you, girl. Like, you better defend yourself. Like, so you know Sarai not finna stay. So she tried to blame it on Abram. Abram's like, nah, that's your responsibility. You the one that told me to do that. You deal with that. That's your maid. You deal with that. So Sarai was like, bet. She turned into bad girl, mean girls and started shaming her, humiliating her, talking crazy about her in front of everybody, treating her with no type of empathy at all, to where Hagar left. She fled. She grabbed some stuff and left. But the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, and the road to Egypt by way of Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, where did you come from and where are you going? And she said, I'm running away from my mistress, Sarah. The angel of the Lord said to her, go back to your mistress and submit humbly to her authority. Meaning put all of this childish ways, put this nonsense behind you. This way that you acting. You started being bold and having courageousness and boasting in front of her. Be humble to her authority. Then the angel of the Lord said to her, I will greatly multiply your descendants so that you will be too many to count. The angel of the Lord continued, behold, you are with child, and you will bear a son, and you shall name him Ishmael, meaning God hears. Remember I said about names. Names are important. Because the Lord has heard and paid attention to you, to your persecution, suffering, to your persecution, he, Ishmael, will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against every man, continually fighting, and every man's hand against him, meaning he's going to be a warrior. He's going to always have his head on a swivel. And he will dwell in defiance of all his brothers. Then she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, you, God who sees. For she said, have I not even here in the wilderness remained alive after seeing him who sees me with understanding and compassion? Therefore the well was called Belahara, well of the living one who sees me. It is between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave birth to Abram's son, and Abram named his son to whom Hagar gave birth Ishmael. God hears. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar gave birth to Ishmael. Now you see how when we go outside of God's will and God's plan, he has to then fix the very things that we mess up. He always has to step in and fix those things that we be doing too much. We think our way is better than his way. We think our plans are greater than his plans. And then he has to turn around and fix those plans that he had no plan for us in the first place. Because we can't wait on him. When we're waiting on God, do what waiters do. When you're waiting on God, do what a waiter does, serve. Think about what I'm saying to you. When you're waiting on God, do what a waiter does while you're waiting. Serve. Serve his people. Be faithful to his people. Occupy your time by being of service. But if you're sitting there just waiting like this, guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up thinking Satan has an opportunity right then and there and being like,
well, I know that you're waiting. I guess he ain't came through yet, so here's what we should do. Why don't you take Hagar, tell Abram to sleep with Hagar, and then she'll give you a son, and that son will be yours. And then you could do the plan that God told you to do, Maybe this is his plan. It's for you to come up with a plan.
And then you end up in the worst possible situation where you out of pocket. And you treat people with no humility. And then God, you make a person that you once loved and cared about flee from you, where God has to send her back to you. Imagine Abram having a son and he didn't get to see his son be born. How many fathers are dealing with that today? How many fathers are dealing with baby mamas that don't want their dads to be a part, the man to be a part of their kid's life because of the plans they decided to do? Because they wanted to fornicate. They wanted to have sex out of wedlock. They just wanted some. They was just letting the music take over them, got drunk, had a baby, and realized you didn't got with this man. You with somebody that ain't good for you at all. And now you didn't have a baby by this man. You didn't have a baby by this man. And you don't want him. But he want to be a part of this baby's life. But she don't want him. This is the world that we live in. We come up with plans and then God has to fix it. See, you ain't hearing me. You ain't hearing me. Genesis 17, Abraham and the covenant of circumcision. When Abram was 99 years old, so mind you, he was 80-something when Ishmael was born. Now he's 99 years old. The Lord appeared to him and said, I am Yah Almighty. Walk habitually before me with integrity, knowing that you are always in my presence. Man, I'm always thinking about you. You never leave my presence. I never leave you. And be blameless and complete in obedience to me. I will establish my covenant, everlasting promise between me and you. And I will multiply you exceedingly through your descendants. Then Abram fell on his face in worship. And God spoke with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with you. And as a result, you shall be the father of many nations. No longer shall your name be Abram, exalted father, but your name shall be Abraham, father of a multitude. For I will make you the father of many nations. And I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings will come from you. I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you throughout their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be Yah to you and to your descendants after you. I will give to you and to your descendants after you the land in which you are a stranger, moving from place to place. All the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession of property, and I will be their God. Further, Yah said to Abraham, as for you and your part of the agreement, you shall keep and faithfully obey the terms of my covenant, you and your descendants after you throughout their generations. This is the sign of my covenant, which you shall keep and faithfully obey. Between me and you and your descendants after you, every male among you shall be circumcised, and you shall be circumcised in the flesh of your foreskins. And it shall be the sign, symbol, memorial of the covenant between me and you. Every male among you who is 8 days old shall be circumcised throughout your generations, including a servant, whether born in the house or one who was purchased with your money from any foreigner, who is not of your descendants. A servant who is born in your house or one who is purchased with your money must be circumcised. And a sign of my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the male who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, that person shall be cut off from his people and has broken my covenant. Then Yah said to Abraham, as for Sarai, your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, my princess, but her name shall be Sarah, princess. I will bless her, and indeed I will also give you a son by her. Yes, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people will come from her. Then Abram fell on his face and laughed. and said in his heart, shall a child be born to a man who was 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who was 90 years old, bear a child? And Abraham said to Yah, oh, that Ishmael, my firstborn, might live before you. But Yah said, no, Sarah, your wife, shall bear you a son indeed, and you shall name him Isaac, laughter. And I will establish my covenant with him from an everlasting covenant, and with his descendant after him. As for Ishmael, I have heard and listened to you. Behold, I will bless him and will make him fruitful and will greatly multiply him through his descendants. He will be the father of 12 princes, chieftains, sheiks, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant, my promise, my solemn pledge, I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this time next year. And Yah finished speaking with him and went up from Abraham. Then Abraham took Ishmael, his son, and all the servants who were born in his house, and all who were purchased with his money, every male among the men and of Abram's household, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskins for the very same day, as Yah has said to him. I don't think y'all understand. When you grown and somebody cut the schmeat off your meat, my goodness. You're not understanding. You're not understanding. Wasn't no anesthesia. Wasn't no ibuprofen. He just said, hey, next. And they probably just had a slab, a table, and he was just like, drop it there, bow. And they just took that little thing. It's like a circular kind of like device. And they just go woof, and then pull it off. And they was just slicing schmeat and meat, schmeat and meat, schmeat and meat, schmeat and meat. It was just a bloody mess. All they had was just foreskin all over the place. And they grown. I'm saying it was burning. I don't know what they had to deal with the pain, but it's hurting for days. It's hurting for days. You're not hearing me. It's going to hurt for days. Days. So Abram was 99 years old when he was circumcised. Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised. On the very same day, Abraham was circumcised, as well as Ishmael, his son. All the men servants of his household, both those born in the house and those purchased with money from a foreigner, were circumcised along with him, as a sign of God's covenant with Abraham. And right there is where we're going to leave off today's Bible study. So what did we learn today? What did we really take away? What's the biggest takeaway from today? When God makes us a promise, his promise is not like man's promise. When he tells us something, he means what he says and says what he means, and he stands 10 toes on what he means. His truth is not our truths, right? Just because we can't understand what God is doing doesn't mean he's not going to do what he said he's going to do. When God shows you a promise, he's shown it to you. You just have to be faithful and wait on him. Do what waiters do and serve. Don't give Satan the opportunity to get into your mind and change whatever God has already worked out. While God is still working it out and he's still formulating these plans, go do the things that God has for you to do. Don't let Satan creep into your mind. Don't let doubt creep into your mind. Look, y'all know I'm the same. Okay? I'm nobody special. I'm not acting like I'm perfect. I'm preaching to myself. Even I have doubts. I've been doing content creation for quite some time. And there's moments where I doubt myself. There's moments where I don't doubt God. I doubt me. I've seen what he's shown me. I've seen it. But sometimes I have doubts that I'm not going to get there. I'm being honest. Sometimes I doubt what God has already promised. It's not on purpose. It's really not. But sometimes it is hard because God's time is not our time. While we're sitting there waiting and it's been 10, 15 years, to God, it's only been seconds. It ain't been that long. But for us, it feels like an eternity. We're like, Lord, you show me this vision, but it's not coming true. But the thing is, you're probably not ready for it yet. You haven't done the things that God is requiring for you to do. You're just sitting there waiting like this instead of waiting, meaning being a waiter, meaning serving people, doing what God is doing. You're supposed to be, whatever God is doing, you're doing the same. I'm serving. I'm just moving. I'm doing what I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm going through my trials, but I'm getting better at it. I'm asking God to help me and build me because whatever he's built, whatever he's doing, it's going to help me get to where he needs me to be. It's going to help me accomplish the things that he needs me to accomplish. But if you're sitting there on your feet or sitting there on your hands, just waiting for God to just do something, that's not how he works. That's not how he works. But he's not asking you to come up with your own plans and start doing your own desires. He's asking you to be obedient to what he has for you and be patient on his word. Trust in him. Know that he is God and know that he's moving. Know that he has you. Know that he loves you and he's working, but you have to be working too. And you have to work on patience. You have to work on discipline. You have to work on obedience. You have to work on forgiveness. You got to work on bravery. You got to work on courage. You got to work on knowledge. You got to work on wisdom. You got to work on listening. You got to work on discernment. You got to work on reading the word. You got to work on telling the difference between God speaking to you and Satan speaking to you. Oh, it's a lot of things you got to work on because it's not just for you. He's telling Abraham, you're going to be a man of many nations. So when God is working with you, it's not just for you. He's using you so you can reach many people. The testimony that you have right now, what you're going through is your testimony. Abram has a testimony. He's been going through this since he was young. He got a big, long testimony. His testimony is why he will be a father of many nations. His faith is being tested. Faith is trust, confidence in God. It's your trust and your confidence in him. It's being tested. God gave him a promise years ago, decades ago. And now he's 99. And Yahweh is still holding to this promise. So do you not understand that for the basic works of our faith, the basic foundation of following Christ, being a servant of Yah, being a child of Yah, the basic foundation is faith. The one that's above that is obedience. We learned that with Adam, obedience. And then the next thing right after that is faith. Faith. When Yah makes a promise, be obedient to him, but also have faith. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So have faith. Because in those moments when you are facing the impossible situations and when you're obedient and you have faith, you can face situations that seem bigger than you. You can fight 4 kings that took out 5 with just 318 soldiers. Thank you for watching today's Bible study. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you drop a like and a comment so it passes to more people. And if you got anybody in your family that you would love to let them hear this, man, share it with them. Share it with your family members. Share it with friends. Make sure you always get your kids and everything with you to listen to the word of God. And don't just make the word of God on a Sunday. Make it every day. Find time to read the word, even if it's just a verse that you study. Even here, you study a verse, you find a verse that you like, read it every day. Take the word with you every single day. Give us this day our daily bread. Thank y'all for watching. Keep Yah and Jesus Christ in your life. Pray before you go to bed tonight. Remember that Yahweh loves you and I love you. Good night.